Hello again, everyone. It's me, MadameMacabre, and welcome back to all my returning subscribers, and hello to everyone who's new here. Today, once again, Auntie Macabre is going to be giving more spooky advice via viewer submission. Today's submitter goes by the name Arya, and she seems to be in a little bit of a pickle, and she thinks she may know exactly what's up. Let's see if we agree. Once again, how I do these little advice column things is that I will read through the entire submission, beginning to end, and then I will give my own personal thoughts and advice. I also really like to have an opportunity for you guys to share your own insights as well. So as always, if hearing this story really just sparks something in your mind, brings up a memory, or you think you know exactly how to deal with it and I haven't covered it, or you want to go further into depth onto something than I did, please feel free to share in the comments below. Everything, as long as it's positive and kind-spirited, can do nothing but help our lovely submitter. Alright, so we've carried this on long enough. Let's go ahead and get into our submission. I'm pretty sure an entity is attached to me. Hello, my name is Arya. I'm 13 years old. Ever since I was little, I've always loved the paranormal and anything related. If it was spooky in the slightest, I was looking for info on it or asking my mom to buy me it. Now, this all starts at the first house I remember, on a secluded mountain in Beacon, New York. I was that kid who never had imaginary friends. I preferred not to talk to people, so why make people up if I'm just going to ignore them for a coloring book? Anyway, my mom saw it as normal to find me talking to the wall about my day, thinking it was just an imaginary friend or perhaps a stuffed animal, or even just talking to myself. One time, however, she asked me who I was talking to. I told her I was talking to Raylan. Dark news incoming. I never knew it at that age. I was only around 6 or 7, but years ago, my mom was going to have a baby and name it Raylan, but my grandmother made her abort it. Raylan was going to be born over 10 years before I was. Anyway, my mom started crying and explained that I was going to have a sister, but she didn't make it, and that her name would have been Raylan. I didn't understand the severity of the situation back then. See, you might just think this was going to be a heartwarming story of a child talking to her dead sister, but she didn't even have a conscience to be transferred to the afterlife. That couldn't have been her. Years later, I'm 11, in a new house, and I wake up for school. I see this dark, almost cloud-like shadow creature with red eyes inches from my face. I couldn't scream. My mom turned my light on and the thing dissipated into black fog, fading after a second. This obviously panicked me, as I had never seen something like that. I saw it multiple times after that. Cut to the last day of 5th grade. I was about to leave school and was in the hall. Then suddenly I felt something push me to the floor. I didn't even have a backpack, so it's not like something would have weighed me to the ground. But I felt like something was holding me to the floor. But again, there was nothing there. My friend Eli noticed and lifted me off the ground before we left for the buses. Eli is important to this story. Cut to 6th grade. I invite Eli to my house to hang out for the weekend. I go to the kitchen at around noon, and when I go back, I see Eli wide-eyed and freaked out. I asked him what was wrong, and he said he saw a tall, dark, shadow-like thing with red eyes standing in the doorway of my room. I didn't have a proper door. It was one of those plastic folding doors already broken. But here's the thing. I never explained that thing I kept seeing to him. I never even told him about the fact that I was even seeing anything. At this point, I explained everything to him, and it sort of helped me. It helped me to realize that that thing was actually there and I wasn't going crazy. Cut to present day, in a new apartment. Haven't seen the thing in a while. I'm in the kitchen, going back to my room, when I feel a fight or flight instinct kick in. My breath hitched. I felt eyes on me. My heart rate spiked, and everything felt like it was slow motion. I ran back to my room and turned the lights on, huddling in a blanket on my bed. I recognized the way that the eyes felt, the gut feeling of malicious intent. I knew it was the thing I had seen before. I texted my friends and they didn't know what to do. This took place yesterday, on June 28th, as of writing this. I think that the thing is a demon. And I'm pretty sure the Raylan, from when I was a kid, was this thing trying to lure me into a false sense of security around it. I feel like it's important to note that throughout the whole story, I was pretty vulnerable as there was a lot of arguing in my home. Sorry if this was long. It just felt like it would be better if people heard this story rather than it just being something kept between me and a few friends. Okay, well, first of all, thank you for sharing with us, Arya. I'm glad that you decided to reach out rather than just keep it to yourself, and I hope that this video and the comments below can be of some assistance to you. So first of all, sadly, I think you may be right with your hunch that this thing may be demonic in nature. It hits pretty much all the major points for a malicious spirit to want to attach. Unrest in a home, arguing, and the big one, appearing to you as a child using a name that is associated to something very traumatic for your mother. These malicious lesser entities just enjoy preying on the weak, and they love as much turmoil as they can get their dirty fingers on. So sadly, wherever you have people who are going through a lot of emotional trauma, you're bound to find some malicious entities. My personal suggestion at this point, if you haven't already, would be to begin looking into methods for how to deal with ridding yourself of a lesser demonic entity. Now, my personal first piece of advice would be figure out the best method for you personally to cleanse your home. Now, this can be unique to your own personal faith, spirituality, beliefs, or if you don't have one in particular, you can just read through different methods of cleansing, and if one really resonates with your heart, choose that one. This can be done with various things such as sage, salt, crystals, incense, and even water. Now, some families are kind of weird about cleansing. I don't understand it because you can have cleansing things from literally any faith in the world, but for whatever reason, some people are weird about it. I hope your mom is not weird about it because it just makes it so much easier to have her support. If she is one of those people who's weird about it, this may require you having to do it while she's not home, which is always unfortunate. I don't like making people or advising people to do things behind their parents' back, but if it is for your own protection, that's a special exception. However, I'm hoping she is open to the idea of a cleansing. You don't have to tell her that you think it's using the Raylan name because that might hurt her. You can just tell her that you feel like there is a negative entity sort of hanging around and you want to keep it at bay. Or if you don't even want to broach the subject of what you're seeing at all, you could even just tell her that you would like to cleanse the apartment because cleansing a new home or just your home in general is something that is practiced all over the world, and it's releasing the negative and letting the positive in. And if she's down with it, she could even help you with the cleansing because it's always more potent when there's more than one person. Heck, you could even have your friend who knows of this thing come and help you out with it. In fact, I'd recommend it. My hope with this thing is that it is just a minor, lesser entity creature that is just a scavenger, an opportunistic feeder, and cleansing and blocking it out should be enough to put it in its place. My other suggestion is to make sure you are emotionally and spiritually bolstering yourself up. I know it can be hard when there is turmoil and arguing in your home, but in the very least, remember that you can tell it to leave. As long as you keep yourself in a strong and confident place, you are no longer just an easy opportunity for it to try to feed. The second you put up a big ol' fight, for these little guys, it is not worth the trouble. They're scavengers. They're gonna look for somebody else who's vulnerable if you kick them on out of there. Of course, there are many other things you can do to deal with negative entities such as this, but that's just the starter advice I can give you since, once again, I am working with very, very, very limited information. But I hope that general starter information is at least enough to get you going in the right direction. And just like I mentioned before, if you guys in the comments below have any additional advice or even more in-depth beyond what I had time to give today, please feel free to share your thoughts down below. And once again, let's make sure we're being supportive to people who are being brave enough to share their stories and ask for help. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening, and a huge thank you to the lovely Arya for sharing her very personal story with us. I really do enjoy reacting to these things and giving my own thoughts and then hearing what you guys have to say as well. If you have your own personal paranormal experiences that you would like my advice on, or just my thoughts on, or what anyone else in the comments has to say below as well, you can feel free to email it to me in my business email that I have in my links on my page, and I will try to get to as many as I can. Alright, you guys, well that is all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was helpful. I will catch you all next time, and until then, remember, stay creepy.